Hello, I am a man who likes convenience. You know this YouTube channel takes on massive video projects that are often a logistical and technical nightmare. I am always looking to make my life easier. Nothing beats playing a proper retro game on a proper console on a proper CRT, but when you've got things to do, you've got videos to make, you've got deadlines to meet, sometimes you just want the easiest and simplest way to get what you need. With all the emulators, all the ROMs, all the setups, I've often said to myself, bloody hell, I would gladly pay a solid amount of money just to have everything done for me. I don't want to sound self-important, but I am an unbelievably busy guy. I recently spent hours organizing my ROMs for my Game Boy Flash cartridge, and I hated myself for it because goddamn, I have things to be doing. I want convenience. I want someone else to do the dirty work. Well, someone read my mind and sent me that exact thing. This is a Peerprit 12TB 6-in-1 gaming hub 100,000 games. It's awesome and massively illegal, unless you actually own all 100,000 games, which of course we all do. After a little bit of endangering your PC by taking down all its defenses, leaving you more vulnerable than a Londoner in Glasgow, this hard drive is pretty much everything you'll ever need if you want retro video games. I do advise using this on a partitioned hard drive thing on your computer. I would not use it even on your main computer for obvious reasons. If you got a spare computer or a spare laptop hanging around that you don't use anymore, I would highly recommend using that for this hard drive. The 6-in-1 nomenclature comes from the fact that it has 6 front ends, so to speak, to choose from, things that are very much easily available to set up yourself for free, but who needs that kind of effort? It has TechnoPirate, which I am most excited for since these more obscure arcade games are often a bit precious in their setup. I frankly could have done with this when I did my Star Wars retrospective, and I will need it for the 2 Alien games once I get there. There's Retrobat, which I have occasionally used. If you're on Patreon, you'll see that I used that on some earlier games in the Alien franchise. There's Kodi, which seems a bit useless to be honest. Launchbox, which is an alternative to Retrobat. Playknight, which is mostly for modern games, and Hyperspin, which has every arcade game you could ever desire. All the games are here, all the games you could ever need. Yes, it has As Your Dreams, and Alundra, so it passes that basic test. It has 400 emulators apparently, between all the systems, and it's difficult to even know where to begin, from Atari 2600 to the PlayStation 3. Okay, the PS3 and Xbox 360 emulators barely work, but I'm sure they'll be updated over time. Not that I think my PC could handle it anyways. It's decent, but not that decent. It has Game Gear, it has Namco arcade units, Jambo Safari, it has Tiger electronic handhelds that don't seem to work very well. And that is an issue. As plug and play as this seems, it's not really. I often found myself having issues with a lot of emulators and games, especially with controller recognition, and performance that seemed a bit more off than it should be. I mean, when the Switch emulator runs more smoothly than Dolphin, you know things aren't quite right under the hood. And that's where these front ends actually make the experience a little bit worse for the later generations and quirky consoles. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks cool, the presentation is impeccable, and it hypes me up about all of the games. I just love seeing all these previews, but the emulators, they do need to be tweaked. It is a fact of life. And having these front ends makes that incredibly difficult to do so. And this is where I advise forgetting all of the front ends for anything past the 64-bit era. Sure, use it to have a browse, see the plethora of games before you play them, but seriously, dive into the files and use the emulator application yourself. Then you have complete control from the off, no faffing about to see if the controls work. You can just immediately change your settings and you don't need to find which key shortcut will bring up the options, if they will at all. As soon as I ditched the front ends, my enjoyment of this product massively increased. And don't get me wrong, I was really enjoying it beforehand, just at the sheer number of games available at a few clicks. But once I was in more control, I did feel like it was better. I love the fact that pretty much every game in existence is compiled here for me already, alongside all the emulators I could ever need. Now, of course, this is all massively illegal, at least if you don't own these games already. There is a grey area though. Everyone plants their flag in different places when it comes to ROMs and emulation. I don't shy away from using emulators. In fact, I use them exclusively for this channel where applicable. But I do love my proper consoles, and of course, you know, I like real physical games, obviously. I have quite a lot of them. But I'm in the camp that says, look, if I can't legally purchase it and support the original creators or publishers while doing so, I have zero issues with ROMs. If the game is available to purchase legally and the money going to the right people, then I do think you should buy it. I mean, just look at my Star Wars retrospective, look at my Steam list, look at the Xbox games, look at the games I purchased because of that retrospective. If I can buy it, I will. However, like this thing, having Switch games on here, that doesn't sit right with me. I mean, if you own them already, then why not? But this being preloaded with these games, I don't know about that. It's asking for trouble for a start, so it all depends on where you stand. Most of the games in here cannot be purchased legally anymore, so those are fair game in my opinion. 12 terabytes of mostly games you can't officially buy. The place I got this from, the people who sent it to me, I have linked their listing down below in the description if you want to sample it for yourself. It's not an affiliate link, nor did they pay me. They just sent me the unit and asked me what I thought about it, and this is what I thought about it. It's overwhelming, it's nicely presented, but all the front ends, as cool as they are, did hamper the experience occasionally. Controls were often a pain in the arse. But again, if you're willing to delve into the folders and the files, you'll be amazed at what is within reach of a few clicks. I appreciate the collation of these ROMs and all these emulators. Any kind of convenience in my gaming life is very much appreciated. As I said, you can do all of these things yourself. However, having it done for me in return for a few bob, that is a service I am willing to pay for. This does not do anything you can't do yourself. You can do all of this yourself for free, aside from hard drive space and time. So that's entirely up to you. I could never imagine going through and doing all of this myself, even though I want it. So I am happy with this big giant hard drive full of games that I kind of want. It was nice of them to send it to me, and you can check them out with the link down below. Now, just very quickly, I am sure you are all wondering, Jordan, what on earth is going on with this channel? You did a 12-hour Star Wars retrospective and then you got out of Dodge. I am sure most of you know that this is not my main channel. I have another channel called Physical Paradise, which I currently have to focus on for various reasons. And of course, my Star Wars retrospective, it didn't get the million views I was hoping for. Never mind. Anyways, I was supposed to be working on an Aliens video game retrospective, and I've done 3 parts on Patreon already. However, it has gone on the back burner. I think the video is decent, it's pretty good so far, but I haven't really enjoyed making it, and I want to do something else for a bit. So most of my work is going to be on Patreon for a while before the projects are fully complete. So I am here, I'm slowly working on stuff, I'm building my retro collection and equipment, and I hope to be able to make awesome content for public consumption in the near future. But as an aside, if you want to see the Alien retrospective that I've done so far, there's a couple of hours worth there, I've done a 50% discount on the lowest tier on my Patreon just for a couple of weeks. Just use the code Jordan, so you can watch all of that just for $1 if you want to see how it's going. Anyways, I do thank you for your patience, and have a fantastic day. Take care.